and welcome to Out of Spec Motoring. You join us here in the Bonneville Salt Flats, and we're gonna go rip around and have fun and show you guys what it's like to rip our Tesla Model 3 around this beautiful land.
And not only do you join us on the Salt Flats, you join us in what is about to be the most exciting episode of the entire series. We max the car out on the Salt Flats. We go to Moab, legitimately off-roading our Model 3. We hit the highest temperatures in Death Valley, reaching 123 degrees Fahrenheit. We lose a lot of money in Reno and Vegas and end up in Denver, and oh, there is so much more as well. We've also broken this episode up into 2 parts, so you're watching part 1, and the video after this will be part 2. So buckle up, stay tuned. This is going to be the most fun episode so far. Enjoy. So you join us here on the flats where we're getting everything ready to go. We are only at 15% state of charge. So what we're going to do is go over 8 miles down the road. Yes, Blue's excited. Supercharge this thing up, and then we're gonna go and rip around the flats. And there's a lot of precautions that you need to take driving on the salt. I will explain, but for now, let's go supercharge up. We'll come back to here and rip around. You join us now at the West Wendover Supercharger here in Nevada. We're gonna plug this thing in. I chose the shadiest spot I could. It's 100 degrees outside. And what we're gonna do is we're going to, as usual, take this water, put it on this rag, and wipe it or wrap it around this supercharger handle. Because we're at 9% and it's extremely hot, this handle and cable is gonna get so hot that it's gonna limit our charging. So like you've seen in our previous episodes, we're gonna water down that rag, wrap it around so we can sustain fast charging without having to move stalls. There we go. This is a nice soaking wet rag pushed right up to the charge port handle. Again, there's no high voltage that's gonna jump through and kill me, so it's totally fine. All it does is it cools down this handle and the sensor to allow for faster charging, and the connections can take it. It's no problem. So we are now at 12% doing 140 kilowatt. Let's see if it tapers early, but I bet it does not. We're out here in the middle of the desert. What are you doing?
Gotta put their shoes on. Blue is...
Yeah, well, so the Salt Flats itself is a pretty hard surface for dogs' paw pads. And so we brought along these booties for their hiking trips and now for their Salt Flats to keep their paws cool was our main intention, but also away from the abrasive salts. And because it's BLM land, Bureau of Land Management, you're pretty much, you can do whatever you want on that land. You can go as fast as you want. You can camp anywhere, and the dogs can run free, which will be a blast. So we're going to do a really deep charge here. We're still ripping 142, 143 kilowatt at 16%. We're going to charge up probably 90, 95% because I want to do some pretty high speed stuff on the flats. I'm not sure if we'll take the roof box off or not, but we'll see. We're going to explore it, and then we're going to find a car wash right afterwards.
He can't move. He won't move.
He won't move because you put his booties on?
Yeah, you sat on their treats, by the way.
Oh, their treats are down here. Ellie's booties are on?
No.
Blue, come here. Blue, come.
You want a treat, Bubbles?
Blue, come here.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I'm not quite sure what I'm stepping on. You're gonna have to get used to those, puppy.
He's so upset he won't eat his treat toys, but look
We're
well.
We're just trying to keep you guys safe. Don't be mad at us. Alyssa is gonna get Blue used to his booties since he seems to be pretty scared about the... Come on, buddy, it's okay. Ellie's sitting in the car with the AC blasting. This should not feel a thing on your feet. That's why you're walking so funny. Well, the supercharger handle rag worked yet again. It ripped 145 kilowatt all the way to its internal taper point in the charge profile, and now it will back itself down, and we didn't have to move stalls. This is a great trick, especially when you're in the middle of the desert, 100-degree temperature in the blazing sun. There we go. And then this ramp down is just following its internal charging profile. And we watched a little Netflix. We're charged up to 97%. Took a while, but we just finished our food. We actually unplugged mid-charging session, went through the drive-thru at Burger King and came back. So let's unhook this wet rag. All is good, handle's nice and cool, especially now because it hasn't been pulling much power as the battery fills, and we're heading off to the salt flats. Oh yeah. We are now back in the middle of the salt flats. Can this really be real life? I mean, it's actually so flat that you can see the curvature of the earth. Sorry, all you flat earthers, this proves it. The earth is round, and it is perfect out here. No wind anymore. Totally dead. There's no one around. As much as I would like to skid around and do real big donuts, it's really not good for the surface to do that. Maybe we'll do a couple little skids, but like those big donuts that create ruts, it really can pose a dangerous problem for people that are flying down the flats and then hit some of your donut marks, and there's a ton around, and that can be pretty dangerous. Anyway, the surface, let me show you this, is literally just salt crystals. It's quite hard underneath, but that top layer of just kind of sandy salt makes it really unstable at speed to drive. But I think we should at least pick up the pace a little bit, see what we can do. And maybe we should remove the roof box and maybe really push the car. We should definitely do that. So let's have some fun out here on the flats. Cue the music.
When I saw you downtown, I started acting like a clown, just to see if you would notice me and maybe get you to laugh. I did get some attention from the girl right next to you. Then all my friends saw me fleeing for my life. Scheme love, scheme love. I gotta run, run, run. I gotta run, run, run. I gotta steal love.
Well, we're back out at the flats. You can see the Yakima Grand Tour 16 is removed. That's in our hotel. What a debacle that was. We kind of dropped it, but it's still in one piece, and it's all for a good cause in the name of speed. And I have salt fever badly, just like this guy ripping it over here. I don't know if you can see him on video. You can hear him. Sounds like a jet ripping it. Love it. What do you think we're going to be able to get the Model 3 Performance up to top speed, bearing in mind we're on Century $50 tires?
Given the weight, maybe 152.
152 to you. I think, well, we brought it up to what, 110 with the roof box? I think 105 maybe is what I had it up to, and that felt pretty sketchy. So let's go run some top speeds and see what we can do.
What's your guess?
Oh, my guess, without the roof box, I think 135 miles an hour.
Well, that's pretty low.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. A Model 3 rear-wheel drive got 140, so we're going to have to beat them. We have to be the fastest Tesla on the flats. So definitely more than 140. Let's go see if it can do it. We charged it up to 95, 96% at the supercharger. We're currently at 90% state of charge. Let's go let her rip. That's all she'll do, 158. Just cut power there. We found ourselves kind of an area where a lot of people have done donuts and skids. I don't think many people will do lots of donuts around here. We're away from like the main straightaway. So let's just see what it's like to do. No, that's good. Let's see what it's like to just do some big skids. So I have it in Tesla's drift preset, and we'll just stick it sideways And look at this, no hands, full sideways. You can catch the car. This is a great place to come out and teach someone where and how to drift a car. Look, we'll stick it in like this. Full send. No problem at all. You can just come out here. I don't even have to like look at anything because what are we gonna hit? You can do it with your eyes closed. Drifting with your eyes closed. Let's see if I spin it or if I can just do it all by feel. So we're doing some S turns. We're gonna go for a full loop down. Oh, I looked for a second. We're spinning full power. Oh yeah, we spun it. Okay, here, eyes closed again. How are we doing, Alyssa?
Will you open your eyes?
Drifting, eyes closed. This is the weirdest sensation.
Okay, no.
Oh, we're going a lot faster than I thought we were. I love the salt flats. You know, it's certainly one of those opportunities. You got to see if you can drift with your eyes closed. Where else am I going to be able to do that? Nowhere, not even on the track.
I guess not, no.
Right, so that was pretty cool. And we hit the top speed of the car. How do you feel about that?
I feel like I was right.
You were right, your guess was closest. 158 miles per hour. Bearing in mind that was after we had to do 3 or 4 full speed run attempts. And 158 is pretty good. I just think if we had a higher state of charge, we could have hit in the full 162 top speed. Should we go charge it up and try again?
No, I want to get good drone footage.
Oh yeah, we should throw up the drone and get some cool shots of the car on the flats. If you see any slidey stuff, we're gonna do it over there where everyone else has been sliding around so we don't mess up the straightaway where everyone's flying. Let's go throw up the drone and cue that in 3, 2, 1. We stayed out here to watch the sunset, and oh my goodness, look at this. It's really like we are on the dark side of the moon. Is this not one of the most gorgeous things you've ever seen? This is otherworldly, bucket list item. Everyone has to come out here. We honestly should have just camped out here. There's some people camping all the way, maybe like 3 miles away that way. It's just so cool. Woo, roof box all loaded back up. Dogs are doing their business. This really didn't take that long. We're gonna have to wash the car this morning. I'll show you some close-ups, but goodness gracious, I'm surprised this thing hasn't rusted to pieces yet. Okay, we're gonna do to start. 12, there we go.
Oh my
All right. 10 minutes or so, and that's about as good as it's gonna get. Hopefully we can find a rainstorm soon, because that will really just get the bottom of the car. Thankfully the Model 3 is mostly, but not all, aluminum. And we have a really nice Model 3 for sale if any of you are interested. It's never seen rain, never been put on the track before, never been driven hard. And now that we have hosed down the car, we're off to the supercharger across the street. We're gonna top up, and you guys are not gonna believe where we're going next. This is definitely a good episode and a good part of the trip. Hopefully we find some rain along the way to clean this thing off underneath, but it just is what it is. It was worth it. 158 miles an hour on the Salt Flats. Bucket list item, check. Let's go continue the rest of our trip. And even after the Evan X mats are clean, I am not, neither the pedals. Everything just looks frosted down there, but we'll save that for another day. Well, we didn't make it very far. That's where we washed the car, and I found this charger, checked PlugShare, and it was not on there. So just because we all love the community of finding chargers, and PlugShare is really the best spot for that, I added this charger to PlugShare, made sure it worked. It's just a level 2 here at the Rural Electric Company, but hey, now it's added. We have photos up, made sure it worked, and gave it a good score so other people can use it if the DC chargers are down over there, which they currently are. Let's take a look at our next stop. It's something I'm not quite sure of the location, but we have the time and I've wanted to go there. So let's take a look if we can go. I'm sure it's closed for tours, but what a cool thing it would be to head over there, go experience Reno, go down maybe to Death Valley, run the car on one of the dry lake beds, and then come back up, and maybe I'll fly to New York on the 5th, which is just a week from today, I guess, or a week from tomorrow. I have to fly to New York, so maybe I'll do that out of Vegas or Phoenix or something. We'll see. But I think Gigafactory is our next stop. We're charged up to 67%. It's only 110 miles there, but again, you can cruise at 90 miles an hour out here in the West. Off to the Tesla Gigafactory, and then Reno tonight. You've never been to Reno? You got to watch some Reno 911 at the next charger. My favorite show ever. New Boot Goofin'. Welcome to Elko, Nevada at the newly remodeled Shiloh Inn. Ripping it. Cummins diesel, wide open throttle. They always sound pretty good. Anyway, we are charging up here. I was on a call the whole time, so I didn't have a chance. We plugged in at 6%. The car's at 40 something, really poor charging session. Only did 114 kilowatt, and it tapered early due to handle temperature. But honestly, I was just on the phone, didn't get out of the car. We're not in a huge rush, so I just let it charge slowly, no big deal.
We are going to the grocery store because I am tired of eating nasty food. So we're gonna figure out a way to get some nice clean eats for today.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about for food?
I don't know.
We're walking back to the car. We're almost there. It just completed at 90%. What did you buy at the store?
Some nice sandwiches and some dip for our chips.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, we had nice like handmade sandwiches, and what's crazy is like one sandwich was the cost of just the meat to make a sandwich. So I don't know how they're making money on that one. So I just did a quick Google search. This car wash has a touchless portion on it. We're gonna go there and run the car through the touchless car wash. Let's go. So we're sitting here at the car wash. Which one should we go for? I think we just go for the best
You
one.
have selected the Elite with Hot Wax.
Just plugged in Winnemucca, and it's gonna be bad. It's only 4 stalls. We have to share with either a 3 long-range dual motor or an X that are both gonna be pulling full power. We just plugged in on the same one as the X, and we're doing 70 kilowatt. Oh, this isn't so bad. I thought we'd be stuck at like 30 having to share. So they must be finishing up their charging session. Really no way around it. Have to share 1A or 2B. And the other one was designed for handicap access to use last. So 72 kilowatt, can't complain. That's not too bad. And then we're just gonna top up here enough to get to the next charger. So you can see here, we're charging up 72 kilowatt, really not the end of the world having to share. It could be way, way worse. The next supercharger is Lovelock, Nevada, or Lovelock, and there's only 1 of 4 available, but still 150 kilowatt. So we may have to share, or everyone will be cleared out by the time we get there. Either way, we're gonna take the risk, charge up enough just to get there. We could make it there, but we'd have to drive slow. I think we'll give ourselves at least a 15% projected arrival because of the roof box, and use up the rest in speed. We have a 20% predicted arrival almost. I think I'll wait for that to tick up to 20, and then we will be off. Again, 72, 73 kilowatt. I'm surprised it's stabilized like that and it hasn't climbed as that Model X has tapered. But no complaints here. That's still pretty good speeds for having to share on version 2 supercharging. And welcome to Lovelock, Nevada. There's, I think, a broken down truck taking up 2 spots, but we got one that's totally fine, and I guess they'll move when they can. Anyway, charging up here, plugged in at 8%. Can't find a rag to put around the charging handle, and it's really hot, so I imagine we'll taper early. And we killed a tumbleweed on the way over. Got all this stuff stuck in the car. Wild. We just plugged in at 8%. You can see it's already thermal throttling. We're gonna need to find a rag because the handle temperature is so hot. It's just killing our charging instantly. We got to find a solution. So charging just tapered all the way down to 3 kilowatt. Now the handle itself, someone must have just used it, was blazing hot, no question. But I've never seen it thermal all the way down to 3. I think there must be something going on here. You know, we have another stall we can plug into here. I always try to use these last because they're great for people with bike racks or trailers where they can pull in. I did just put a wet rag on the handle. I removed everything from the trunk of the car just to see what we can get it back up to, and it'll be interesting to see if it can recover or if we need to switch. We are now up to 81, 82 kilowatt, but I still think I'm going to switch stalls over to 1A. Could be a cabinet issue, but unfortunately we can't use 2 because of that truck, so we're gonna go to 1B. All right, we've switched over to the pull-in spots, which again, I always hate to use, but it's our sort of a last resort. We're going to cover this with our rag, and we'll make sure we go pretty far down the cable, kind of like this, because any point of connection is a point of resistance, and that's what heats things up. And let's take a look at our charging speeds here. And instantly passed, so it's nothing with the cabinet, it was all about the post. We're up to 143 kilowatt on the same cabinet, so it's all handle connection issues right there. And we're holding steady at 140 plus kilowatt with the AC blasting, so no complaints here. Let's take a look at our route plan going forwards. Looks like Reno is the next one possible, but we are heading to the Tesla Gigafactory, and then I think we should go over to this charger in Reno, which is the new 250 kilowatt 16 stall unit. So let's take a look to see where the Gigafactory is in Sparks. And I'm sure they have a supercharger there, but it just may not be for public use, so we will plan to not be able to charge at the Gigafactory. I think we have plenty of charge to make it to Reno with a little buffer to exit over to the Gigafactory. So again, I don't know, I've never been to the Gigafactory. I don't know if we're able to just drive up or drive around, but let's go see what we can see and do some snooping around. And there you go, that's about as close to the factory as we're gonna be able to get. Unfortunately, there's a gate, but hey, pretty cool to see it nonetheless in the area that it's in. I guess there's a shift change because everyone is leaving. Well, sort of as expected, we were not able to go in the factory. No worries there. I mean, we knew that it would be walled off. I just thought maybe we could find some trails around to see it from an above angle. I mean, maybe we could fly the drone, but I just don't want to piss them off. So we're good, and we're off to Reno. It expects a 3% arrival because we've been driving around here so much. And what a cool spot this is. What did they say? This was the world's largest industrial area?
Something like
Something like that. I mean, I don't know if I believe that, but it's There's a lot of businesses here. Pretty much all the big names have big distribution and warehouse hubs. We have arrived at 3% at the Reno version 3. You guys got to see this supercharging location. Let's get this plugged in first. Here we go. Nice liquid cooled cables all the way up to the connection pins. We'll probably pull 250 kilowatt, at least I hope. Battery should be good. And then you can see all of the chargers around. I believe there's 16 of them just in a cool downtown spot. Check this out. Awesome, really good. And then they have some slower level 2 chargers over there for people who don't need 250 kilowatts. So big fan. Let's take a look at our charging speeds. We're plugged in at 4%. We actually plugged in at 3. Charge profile will unlock here in just a couple seconds and we'll see what we can pull. And here we go. It's opening up, ramping up, 14 kilowatt. Can't complain about that. We'll just let this thing rip on up. We should hit about 250, around 11%. 252 peak, but like I said, right at 11%, we're pegged at 250 kilowatt. This is great. Now that we're just pulling max speeds, let me show you around because there's some other destination chargers over here in a cool charging location. So I still maintain the theory that because my car has been supercharged so much, it will hit peak speeds at 250, but it just touches it and then throttles back. We only held it till I think 14%, and then it started pulling down. The fresh packs will just pull 250 all the way up to like 30%. So as the dogs go for a walk, we have 16 version 3 chargers. I think there's 4 or 6 level 2s in there, Clipper Creeks, and a couple destination chargers. And then you have these right here. I'd be curious if these are 277 volt chargers. We should plug in. A lot of the chargers here at Superchargers are 277 volt instead of your traditional 208 or 240. It's just the way the transformer is wired. So after we're done V3, I'm going to plug into one of those. Check that out. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be the first one I've ever found, and we'd be ready to head to our next destination, which we're not sure where we're going to go yet. We just finished supercharging up to 87%. We're figuring out what we want to do tonight still. We're kind of looking around at hotels. Kind of difficult to find dog-friendly hotels in city environments. These are not 277 volts like I was hoping they were. They're 208 that sag down to 203 under load, and they're 40 amp units. So nothing special here. I was kind of hoping I'd find the gem of 277 volt wall connectors. I know they're out there somewhere. I'm just not sure where. If you do, leave it in the comments below because we'll have to take a trip out there one day. But such a cool supercharger, and we're gonna try to find a spot to stay in town. Unfortunately, all of the websites list like hotels like this, these casinos, as dog friendly, and like 3 years ago they all stopped accepting dogs. So we're gonna figure it out. And since we were here in Reno, we were just like, we should go and lose some money at some casinos and do cool things in Reno, a little tacky lifestyle. So we found this awesome hotel, Whitney Peak. I think it's the only like big non-casino hotel, they were saying. Super premium, super cool. And they had like a, I don't know, $75 pet fee. And she's like, look, if you just give me your email, we sign you up for some rewards program anyway. It doesn't cost any money. And it's like, she'll give us a free pet feed. The room's like half off. So basically, and free parking and free breakfast and discount on dinner. So we're saving like $150 just with an email. And we're staying in this super rad place that has an indoor rock climbing wall and dog friendly, no fee, and free parking. And it's across the street from the supercharger, although we're already charged up. So let's go inside and have a good night in Reno. All right, here's our room, 1229. Go explore.
Smells like somebody had some freaking cologne.
Oh, it smells like Axe body spray. Whoa, this is nifty. This is cool. We tried to stay in places like this when we were in Europe, but I've never seen a hotel like this in the US. This is awesome. Ellie, do not poop on the floor. Let's take a look at this view. Holy smokes. Dang, look at that.
Look at his ears.
Blue, what you gonna do? Have you ever been up this high? Bamboozled. Yeah, you can bark at everyone from up here, buddy. Just not when people are sleeping. Alyssa, I am giving you $100 and I'm taking $100 and we are going to gamble.
You're giving me but taking it from me?
No, I'm gonna take another $100.
Okay.
So we can lose a maximum of $200. Or, you know, if you gain money, great. What do you think you'll be left with at the end of the night?
$56.
So you think you're gonna lose money?
All I know how to do is play the slots. Unless I like grandma stroll around and, you know, like how the old ladies do, they like stalk people, then.
So you think you'll lose money, you'll be down to 56. And I think I will be around 140. I think I will gain $40.
Okay, maybe I'll break even at 102.
Okay, that's not even, that's gaining.
That's gaining, but yeah.
Let's go, hopefully make some money.
Yeah.
This place just keeps getting better and better. I went to go park the car and guess what? Tons of chargers. I wish we had done this before we got into town. That was a mistake. We could have been out and about by now instead of when we were sitting at the supercharger. So this guy left the charge cable on the ground, no worries. We're plugging it in, juicing. The car's at 92%, so I have no plans to charge until early in the morning. I would typically not take a parking spot, but look, all of them are free, so I'm not really feeling bad about blocking one. It's kind of getting late anyway. I don't expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more electric cars to pull in, and I'm the only one. So we'll do bump it up to 95, 100% in the morning, and if anything, it just shows hotel staff that EVs will come and use their chargers, so not a bad deal at all. And we are off to go lose some money. Do it. I told you this was the one. The air suspension on this Model X has completely given up this poor car. What is this thing? 75D. This thing's been here a while. Dang, I wouldn't want this. It's got a ruined battery, probably never been charged. Look at that suspension failure. Dang, that is sad to see. All right, would you like to explain how the night went?
His went like crap. Literally so bad. I did okay. I did not.
You were up. You were,
yeah.
You know, we each had $100 to spend. You were up to like 110 almost.
Yeah, I was winning like $20, $30 at this one machine, and then.
And but you still left with how much?
86.
86. I left with 0. Actually, I think I gave her my last 13 cents.
Ooh, yes.
I just was committed to this machine, and I thought it was gonna pay out.
It was really bad.
Yeah, basically, don't gamble. It's silly. Good morning. It's the next day in Reno, Nevada. And we are here charged up to 93%. I kicked it on just as I was walking over to 100%. Check it out. There's a Model Y right there. I've been seeing Model Ys everywhere. Like around every corner. They're literally flooding the streets. It's crazy. I cannot believe there's so many out in the wild. And so now we're gonna go load this thing up with our luggage, throw the dogs in it, and head to the middle of the desert here in Nevada to Misfit Flats, where we are going to go run this car in a dry lake bed. Welcome to Misfit Flats. This is a dry lake bed. You can see it over there. It looks like you could just go as fast as you want. Unfortunately, there is a sign here that says it's closed to motor vehicles without a permit. So we should have called ahead and gotten a filming permit. Either way, we're not here to break any rules. There's plenty of other dry lake beds that are public in California that we'll be going to in the Mojave Desert and others. So I think for now, we'll head over to Lake Tahoe, see how the life is over there. I hear it's pretty good. It's kind of similar to Park City, really nice stuff, good restaurants. We'll hang out there for a little bit and then we'll find a place to call camp for the night. Looks like we'll get there with around 57% going through Carson City and then some back roads down. This whole area of the US is known for gold mining, and especially in the 1800s, there was just tons of people, tons of mines. And here in Dayton, Nevada, where we're driving through, was the first place gold was discovered in Nevada, which is pretty dang cool. So this is where the gold rush all started from in this state. And welcome to beautiful Lakeside, Nevada. Actually, we're in a parking garage, obviously, at the Hard Rock Casino. There seems to be like a pet boarding thing. I don't know what we're gonna end up doing today, but it's our first time in Lake Tahoe. Seems beautiful. We're at 53% state of charge. We definitely did not need to charge up. However, if we were able to drive on the lake bed, which I couldn't find great information on, we would have used all of that extra 53%. So time not wasted. We would have used it if we could. Now we're charging up at the supercharger here. It's 150 kilowatt. It's quite cool, actually. It's like 80 degrees, but it feels almost like sweatshirt weather inside this parking garage. We're gonna charge it up no more than 90%, maybe not even much. And I think what we're gonna do is do a loop around Lake Tahoe and just check out all the cool little towns. Right now we're in the last town in Nevada right before California, so all the casinos are here, and I guess all of the ski and the cool hotels are right above on the other side. So let's see what we find. Tahoe really seems to be the place because in the summer everyone's like on the lake doing stuff, and in the winter there's like 10 ski mountains all around us. And welcome to the North Lake Tahoe Supercharger. This is a pretty cool spot and it has something interesting. We don't actually need to charge here, but again, just adding the supercharger to the ones we've been to. This is one of the brand new Tesla wall connectors. You can see this, but it has a J1772 port on it. You can see this plug-in Prius is charging no problem, just fine. With the included adapter, it's a really cool J-plug handle, and it is one of the coolest things Tesla does that most people don't realize. They no longer install the Clipper Creeks, they just use their own Gen 2 wall connector with the J-plug in it. Pretty sweet. We're charged up way more than we need to anyway, so pretty cool to see that wall connector. Let's jump in the car and head to the next one. Continuing our tour around the lake, we will head to Incline Village, back to Nevada, and then from there, I think we will head west. But what a cool loop so far. It's been absolutely beautiful driving through the National Forest. Just doesn't get better than this. Welcome to Incline Village, Nevada. Pretty cool spot. We're just gonna plug in, add it to the list. Maybe we'll top up to 80-85%. This is just the lead Tesla has in charging infrastructure. One EV Go, and then all of these superchargers. It really is just insane. All right, so I think we have sort of a plan. We're gonna head out of here and down towards Bodie. Bodie's an old gold mining town, which is pretty cool. It's like a ghost town. I'd love to explore it. Then from there, we're gonna dip down here. We can't go to Yosemite because you need to have reservations, but we're gonna try to just see some of the scenery in this area at least. And that's maybe where we're gonna stay tonight. We have just stopped in at the supercharger in Topaz Lake. It really is a lake right there. I don't know if you can see. Pretty nifty. We are heading to a town called Bodie, which again is the abandoned ghost town. But there's no charging anywhere out here. So we figured we'd top up to 90%. It's that should give us enough range to get back or to another supercharger, we hope, but 90% will just have enough driving around range if we need it for whatever reason. So 90% charge, and then we'll be off to Bodie. The dogs just ran around a little bit. There's a sweet new Model Y here, and we are charged up, I think, to 91%, which is fine. We've been doing a ton of charges today, and we haven't really even needed to. It's just been excuses to find superchargers, plug in for a half a second, but this one we absolutely did need. Off to Bodie. at the entrance to the park. Basically, Bodie's a ghost town, but it's become a state park. The road over here was really awesome. Twisty roads, that was like a full-on rally circuit. However, the park is closed as of about 20 minutes ago, and it says if you enter past the hours, then you will be subject to citation, and they are strictly enforcing it. So again, second time that we struck out here. Not quite sure what our next plan is per se. I guess we'll find a campground and we might come over here in the morning. That's probably what we'll do.
So we found our spot. I found it, very proud of it. It's completely free. I found it on this free camping website and it looks pretty great, pretty flat. We've got a fire pit that we're gonna try and get going tonight because it's probably gonna be freaking cold, but that's okay. And the best part, there is a nice, cute, humane society over there that we may or may not go look at and go say hi and love on all the puppies. So yeah, and then there's also a natural spring somewhere around here that we might go and trek and find in the morning. Would be kind of cool. Oh yeah, Ellie. 360. 360.
It is absolutely beautiful here. The sun is going down here. Let me just adjust the exposure. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. The dogs are just getting their food right on the tarp. We are in the middle of the California wilderness, right near, what's the name of that town we were just in? Bodie, that's right. So sort of like there's nothing around here. I never knew California could be so barren. We're near Yellowstone, so these mountains over here, I think, is just the tip of Yosemite. I am very confused and very tired. We did some gnarly off-roading to get up here, kind of scraped the car on the bottom a couple times, nothing it can't handle, and we've really found the perfect spot, all thanks to Alyssa, and especially with the sunset, it is gorgeous. So, off to bed for us, and we'll catch you guys in the morning for a full day of adventure, I'm sure. Good morning. It's crazy hair day today, I guess. We slept so great. I mean, it was dead quiet, absolutely still. Cold, but because there was no wind, we stayed warm in the tent. Got down to 46 degrees and now it's back up in the 90s. That's just the desert for you. The ground does not retain much temperature when it's this dry. We really have loved this spot and we had considered staying for an extra day. However, now sort of the plans for the rest of the trip have changed. This episode will continue all the way through until I have to fly out early next week. So we are going to go from here in right near Yosemite, near Mammoth Lakes. We're going to go to Bodie today because that'll be open. Then we're going to head down in the Death Valley, probably stop into Vegas for a night, go to a couple parks there, Grand Canyon, maybe a couple others, and then we're going to book it to Denver because I have a flight to catch to New York, and then I'll be back in Denver where we will then continue the trip in the next episode. So this might be a little bit of a long one, but we have a lot to see, a lot to cover. And man, has it been beautiful so far. It's only going to get cooler, actually hotter, especially down in Death Valley, where it's one of the hottest places on earth. And Blue, we're going to have to make sure they stay nice and cool. We have lots of water, lots of ice. We are ready to rock and roll. So if you haven't yet, go look up some info on Bodie. This is like the gold mining capital of California. I think there were 72 saloons. It's known for all of the murders. The main strip, which I believe is this behind us, was over a mile long, just full of saloons. There were so many carriages that got robbed, and it's just one of those crazy gnarly towns. It gets down to minus 20 in the winter and well into the 100s in the summer. It's a harsh environment, and basically when they ran out of gold, they just left everything, and it's been preserved so well. I mean, maybe not this particular building, but the whole town is preserved so well. And what a sight it is to see. If you are ever on this side, you have to come here because this is really mind-blowing stuff. Just finished up at Bodie, had a quick call, so we stopped here on the side of the road, which had cell service, and now we are running down to the Mammoth Lakes Supercharger. It expects an 8% arrival. We're gonna be pretty easy on the car because that 8% is not necessarily accounting for that roof box. So we'll charge up there and we'll catch you there. And we are plugged in and charging on beautiful Mammoth Lake Supercharger. This is my favorite type of supercharger install because it's great for bike racks, it's great for trailers. I think the reason they did this here is it's probably a high percentage of Teslas come in with bike racks and trailers because it's a huge, you know, skiing, kayaking, biking destination. And I wish every supercharger was laid out like this. In Europe, you see this a lot more. And what a cool spot. We're charging, you know, it's kind of weird how they lay them out. So this one's 4A, but over here is 4B. So we're on an open cabinet. And I guess you can kind of just pull in any direction and plug in. Oh, that sounded pretty good. So there you go. That's that. The Mammoth Lake Supercharger. Looking pretty good. So when you pull into a supercharger really low and the car starts pulling max speeds, like we were at 2%, the car has to dump a lot of current through the handle. That heats things up. I know I sound like a broken record, but we're already tapered down to 80 kilowatt at 16%. I'm gonna go move to an open cabinet as another car has arrived, and we're gonna go back up to 145 plus kilowatt. So we just moved stalls from 4A to 3B. And we are plugged in behind this Model S with a cool license plate, too many watts. And let's see how this thing ramps up now with a nice, cool cable. With a nice, cool cable. No, handle is the word I was looking for. There we go. Back up to good speeds. welcome to Lone Pine, California, version 3. It's 104 degrees out. We'll get these things plugged in. Now, even though that these cables are liquid cooled, and they're liquid cooled all the way into the handle, I'm still gonna do the wet rag on them just because it's baking hot out here. So let me get that rag on there and let's hope we don't thermal throttle. I just put a dripping wet rag on there, and plus the liquid cooling, you can hear the pump cycling the fluid through as hard as it possibly can. And we're doing 250 kilowatt. So everything's working hard, and that handle should hopefully stay cool. So you can see this pretty cool V3 in the beautiful mountains. What a gorgeous drive down here. Absolutely amazing. Went from like 88 degrees to 106 peak we saw. This is a Western Film History Museum, which is kind of cool. Maybe we will go in because we have to do a relatively deep charge. I want to get as much juice as possible for the trek across Death Valley, because knowing me, if I see a cool road, we're going to want to detour.